What is all that noise from? Hey everyone, Pine Grove News Live. Definitely live. 6 p.m. on the dot. Let's see. It's working. I just had to turn my air conditioning off so you can hear me. So test, test, test. And we'll see if PGN is live on YouTube. And it is. Appears to be working. Oh, now it's buffering. Okay. But I'm not buffering here. So, all right. Well, kind of distracted because my car wouldn't start this morning. So my son was over. He's the mechanic of the family. And they just left about 10 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, probably. Yeah. 10. Anyway, that's got to be worked on. Meantime, the truck that I was taken for, that I purchased because the family needs a truck, I mean, that's working, but it has some work that's was supposed to be scheduled. So right now, I don't know why it's buffering. Okay. All right. So, anyways, we're all up live everywhere. Everything's good, except for my concentration. Yeah. Anyway, so I put some stuff out on the Facebook page the other night, and we'll eventually get to talk about it. And it has to do with the latest, one of the latest anyway, that Jack Hibbs came out with. It's only called, well, it's episode 3 of their supposedly some series. But the title of it is The Sex Education Crisis in California. That's the one I put in Facebook, I believe, last night after anyways. So we'll get to that because there's not much news that I was able to grab. There's a lot of stuff out there, just a lot of stuff. Some of it, I mean, it's just there to fill space, and that's exactly what it did. And I didn't want to do that. Though I do believe I have one old story, believe it or not, that we're going to go over. So, and that as well, they had apparently in California a mass shooting last night. That was the Garlock Festival in California there. I got this original story that came out, and there's an update coming up. Police, and you probably already heard about it, so we'll just go with it anyway. Police and emergency personnel late Sunday responded to reports of a shooting involved multiple victims at the Garlock Festival. Ambulance crews were told 11 people were down in an active shooter incident at Gilroy's Christmas Hill Park. One witness told NBC Bay Area that he was on his way out when he felt a bullet pass by his head. And when he turned around, he saw everyone running. The annual festival was wrapping up its third and final day when the reports came in. Yeah, that's what World Watchman had said. Before I read the article, he said, yeah, it's probably in the last day, getting ready to shut down. Good thing there wasn't a whole lot of people there. I don't know if that was meant to happen that way. But in any case, we do have this update also from End Time Headlines. 6-year-old girl, unfortunately, among the 3 killed at this Garlic Festival. 15 is the total now for injured. So, anyway, this is originally from NBC. Yeah, speaking of NBC, I think it's either NBC or MSNBC. I might have that, but we'll talk about it later. And that would be apparently somebody there threatened the president. But But in any case, last month, Stephen Romero celebrated his 6th birthday at Legoland, in California. Sunday afternoon, he was shot and killed at the Gilroy Garlic Festival in Northern California. There's nothing I really can do besides try to be with him until I put him in his resting spot, wherever that is, his father, Alberto Romero, told NBC Bay Area. My son had his whole life to live, and he was only 6. Wow, that's all I can say. Romero was at home with his 9-year-old daughter when he found out about the shooting. Stephen had gone to the festival with his mother and grandmother and were also injured in the shooting. Romero said that Stephen's mother had been shot in the hand twice, and he believes the grandmother shot in the leg. In total, 3 people were killed and 15 injured in the shooting. And police also shot and killed a suspect who was carrying an assault-type rifle, of course, according to a statement by the city of Gilroy. Yeah, an assault-type rifle. That's, gives me pause there. I mean, I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, but they seem to always go after, they want the assault rifles away from us. That's all there is to it. I believe there is another story out there about the shooter. I did not grab it. I thought, 2 articles about that enough. But we got some totals from the California earthquake that have been going on. More than 80,000 now earthquakes have hit California since July 4th. More than 80,000. And aftershocks are headed towards the Garlock fault. I don't know what that means, but I know a couple days ago there was a story out there that NASA was doing a zigzag pattern up and down the San Andreas fault. And there have been rumors of FEMA being out there already with generators and all kinds of other stuff. I don't know if it was training or not right now. All I can tell you is that there are rumors that I heard from another news channel. Yeah. People are still waiting for the big one. So this recent seismic activity, excuse me, in the state of California has taken a strange turn. According to the Los Angeles Times, there have been more than 80,000 earthquakes since July. We just said that. And most of these quakes were aftershocks of the 2 very large events that hit the Ridgecrest area early in the month. Yeah, after they got the 6, they thought that was it. And then, then they got the 7. So they're calling it 2 earthquakes. So they thought when they had the 6 anyways that it was over. And then they got the 7. Anyways, they're still talking about that. We have started to see, aftershocks creep toward 2 of the largest fault lines in Southern California. And this is making seismologists very nervous. The fact that we are seeing aftershocks approaching, approaching the Owens Valley fault is definitely alarming. But so far, more concern is the fact that the Ridgecrest aftershocks are also headed towards the Garlock fault. I'm going to research that a little bit more. Garlock fault. I'm just, I'm thinking Garlock fault. I know there's another fault line down there too. I don't know if it's called Heminy or Harmony or something like that. It goes in another direction, but I remember listening to Dutch Sense around when this was happening, and he was there was articles coming out afterwards about this other fault line. But here, Garlock fault. I mean, another fault. There are a lot of faults down there. Kind of funny, hearing the Garlock fault, not Garlic, or not Gilor Garlic Festival. Anyways, the following comes from a local California news source, according to Los Angeles Times. Aftershocks of the magnitude 7.1 earthquake near Ridgecrest have been creeping into areas close to the two major earthquake faults, which is concerning for some seismologists on whether it could trigger another huge, they call it trembler. It's got to be tremor. But anyway, some aftershocks have rumbled northwest of the Ceres Valley earthquake, approaching the Owens Valley fault. That fault triggered an earthquake of perhaps magnitude 7.8 or 7.9 in 1872, one of the largest in California's modern record. The Ridgecrest aftershocks have also headed southeast towards the Garlock fault, a lesser-known fault capable of producing an earthquake magnitude of 8 or more. All I can tell you, folks, is that the rumors out there is that maybe the West Coast is going to get what they've been fearing, for years. The big one. My opinion of this, and there's no scientific, data backing it up whatsoever. Man, just can't clear my throat right now. With all the movies, that have influenced my rather mushy brain, and the things that have been going on, and the rumors that I've been hearing. I mean, I think that the West Coast, even following after military movements and FEMA movements and earthquakes we've had on the West Coast, up there in Washington and further up in Canada, and supposedly the reporting of a new supervolcano off the Oregon coast. Surprise, surprise. That's what they're telling us, that they didn't know it was there. Whatever happened to that one, what was it, in the Pacific North? Tomasi? Remember that? Supposedly pilots were seeing this red glow in the water as they flew past that night. There's a lot of stuff they're not telling us about. But now that they've got, NASA planes zigzagging up and down the San Andreas, Cascadia with this newfound supervolcano that has movement in its magma chamber. We're still waiting for the Cascadias to bounce back from a slip in that in those plates over there 2 years ago at least. I just have a feeling that it all might go at the same time. I have that picture in my head that it's all going to go at the same time, and not just the San Andreas and the Cascadia, but south of the San Andreas, where they're looking now, where all those earthquakes have been kind of moving south. In any case, all I can tell you is the people have been warned. They've been warned. They know what's going on. They've seen all the warnings. They know what could happen. And yeah, it's a tough thing to pack up and just move away somewhere. But listen, you move there knowing that there is this fault line there, that the earthquakes happen. Of course, earthquakes happen everywhere, but at least nowadays. But in any case, I would be moving. Yeah, it's just like, why would you live at the, crest, not the crest, why would you live at the bottom of a volcano? Like Hawaii. That is just a volcano with lava that just cooled and plant life grew. And then the people came. You ever follow the history of that? You ever seen the documentaries on that? How this thing moved from the Northwest Pacific down into the South Pacific? And including Yellowstone and its travel and its caldera moving and moving. Anyways, we're in tumultuous times. That's all I can tell you. And You would think that, we'd be smart and learn what's going on and what could happen. I mean, yes, Agenda 2030, all that stuff, they're trying to move us into, areas. They don't want us near the Madrid fault. They either want you to move to the East Coast or they want you to move in between the Cascadia, San Andreas, and the Madrid, somewhere in the middle there. People claim that, what is that in Missouri, in those mountains there. In any case, you think maybe they know something and that's why they're doing all this? Is that why they're, creating these fires and, calling out other fires by saying that they're actually going to burn them? Anyways, you got to take all of it into consideration. And 80,000 earthquakes, really? Something going on. Just pray to the Lord that you find yourself worthy to come out of that, if that be His will. And so, well, let's not talk about this yet. Okay, let's go over and talk about this. I don't want to talk about that yet. We will be talking about it. Deadly mosquito-borne virus that causes brain swelling in humans has been detected in Florida. Now, I have not really read this. I think I read the first line or two. I don't know if this is the brain eating, or the flesh eating disease that's, let's see, the flesh eating disease is in Florida. The brain eating disease could be in Florida and some other, or around some other water parks, maybe in water parks. Things just seem to be coming out of Florida. Florida health officials are warning of an uptick of a mosquito-borne virus known as Eastern equine encephalitis, EEE. Several sentinel chickens tested positive for EEE, which can spread to humans via infected mosquitoes and cause brain infection and swelling. The Florida Department of the Health in Orange County said in that statement Thursday. Sentinel chickens are fowl that are tested regularly for the West Nile virus and EEE. That is Eastern equine encephalitis. So their blood can show the presence of the disease, but they don't suffer from the effects of the viruses. Following the positive test for the sentinel chickens in Orange County, the health department said the risk of transmission to humans has increased. Only about 7 cases of the EE virus in humans are reported in the U.S. each year. 7 cases each year. The centers, So, however, the disease can be fatal. 7 people, fatal. So about 30% of people who contract it die. Many survivors have ongoing neurological problems. Yeah, if it's going after the brain, of course. Seems like everything's going after the brain. West Nile virus in unborn babies. I've seen the results of those births. 30%. People develop symptoms between 4 to 10 days after they are bitten by an infected mosquito. Signs include sudden onset of headache, high fever, chills, and vomiting. Yeah, sounds like the flu to me. Sounds like a lot of this stuff, including Ebola, have symptoms of the flu, though you get other, other indications like rashes. Was it Ebola? Trying to remember the name of those 4 that were on the list of having those symptoms like the rash, and they mirror each other. Of course, I had them in my head and I just forgot them. But anyways, swine fever, I guess, Ebola, measles, and I forget the other one, all have, can bear the same rash resemblance, and people mistake it for measles. And so we're going to talk about that. All right. Let's go with here. Let's go here. Let's go here. What? Yeah. Sorry. Let's go to this one. This is from Natural News. Bioweapons experiment have unleashed another Ebola outbreak in Africa, and the WHO is panicking. Talk about Ebola again. Well, here's another story here. Rare virus spread by mosquitoes can change your personality, and it's just been found in 5 states. Simply dealing with the itchiness after mosquito bite is annoying enough, especially when you've been outside for a significant length of time and find yourself covered in itchy red dots. But it turns out people in several U.S. states have a lot more to worry about than just some pesky itching. And this is the EEE. According to health officials, a rare virus called the Eastern equine encephalitis. This is just an extension of the other article to tell you that it has been found in New York, in Massachusetts, Florida, South Carolina, and New Jersey. And let me tell you, folks, if it's in New York and Massachusetts, we're right in the middle there. So I'm sure if this is there, it will be in Connecticut as well. Looks like you have the eastern states here too, all along that East Coast. Yeah, all spread by mosquitoes. Yep, that's have some confirmed in mosquitoes south of Boston, mosquito pools, Syracuse, New York. Anyways, just remember, folks, one thing that I've been doing, no matter what, I mean, I can't go out at night in my backyard anyway because of the mosquitoes there. They're just very annoying until I come up with some way to withstand the onslaught. Sometimes when I'm out there, I actually bring a fan out there because they tell you, mosquitoes cannot fly. And they tell you to get a fan and use a fan, only 5-mile-per-hour wind speed. Mosquitoes cannot fly in it. So they will be grounded. So I put one of these floor fans out there when we're sitting around the fire. And sometimes that helps. But got to think of some other things. So that is the just a update to that one. There are other things out here now too. Like you've heard about this one. This happened the other day. This was yesterday's, I believe. Grasshopper invasion in Las Vegas. They're saying it may last for weeks. So I got this. I know there's an article out there. Can't find the article, but I got this video from YouTuber called Truth Unveiled 777. I'll leave that link. It's the only one that I tend to have on this grasshopper invasion in Las Vegas. But they're saying an unusually wet year is responsible for the biblical semen swarm of pelid-winged grasshoppers, according to ophthalmologists. You remember the Middle East has been, you've been hearing Pakistan, India, Israel, and all the places just about surrounding that area have had these locusts, in biblical proportions over there. I forget who was the last one. It might have been Pakistan, but I'm unsure. But now now we got these grasshoppers. I mean, basically the same family in Las Vegas. Um, and I can't really play these videos in Mixler. I could, but I got to turn on the volume, not volume. Don't need one of them. Well, let's just try this for a minute. It's not going to come out good on the recording on YouTube. I tried it already. Something's messed up in it.
I have some very important information to share with you. We're going to be talking about the grasshopper invasion that occurred in Las Vegas. Now, pay careful attention to the scriptural significance and also the spiritual implication, because while they're going to blame everything but what it really truly is, meanwhile, do you understand and see exactly what time it really is?
Yeah. Okay. And she gets into it. She gives you a very good explanation, but I'm not going to play it. I'm going to leave it as a link for you, and then and then go for that because like I said, it will not sound good on the recording that I have after we're done being live. I can't remember what is messed up about it, but in any case, she goes on to talk about the 10 plagues that came to Egypt, and a lot of correlations too. Las Vegas and Egypt and Cairo and the locust there, part of the 10 plagues. And I looked because in her video she does list or talk about the 10 plagues, and that basically this is supposed to be our wake up call that the U.S. is going to be kind of like the same thing that happened to Egypt. Here's the 10 plagues. All right, let's bring it to there. So this is what she's got. Now they got the locust as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7, okay, in the list of 10 plagues. I don't know how it goes. I'm just going from top left to right, and then the bottom left to right. Locusts are number 7, and then what comes after that, because they got them labeled in Exodus, at chapters, higher and higher. So like water turns to blood would be the first one. That's in Exodus 7, 14 through 25. And then it goes up from there, like the gnats, Exodus 8, 12, 15. Flies, Exodus 8, 16 through 28, and keeps going up. So the locusts are at Exodus 10, 1 through 20, I believe. But the one after that, there's 2 after that, okay? The next one after the locust is darkness. That's in Exodus 10, 21 through 29. And then, you don't want to, what was the last plague in Egypt during the time of Pharaoh and Moses and, all that stuff, the Exodus? What was the 10th plague? It should be an easy one. The 10th plague was the death of the firstborn. It was the night of the Passover, right? When Moses told the Hebrews to paint their doorways with blood of the lamb, right? And then this mist, this fog, whatever, came over the city and killed even Pharaoh's firstborn. And so they were saved through that Passover by putting the blood of the lamb on the door jambs. Yep. So basically, that's what she talks about. Or I'm saying she because it still sounds like a female voice to me, but I heard that Truth Unveiled 777 is not a she, it's a he. So I have to try and make that transition. I always thought it was a man talking. Anyways, that's besides the point. So, the other, plagues. I mean, we should know the disease of the livestock, the unhealable boils, hail and fire. That's just before the locust. Have we had any hail and fire yet? We've got an awful lot of volcanoes going off. The unbeatable boils. Have we had that yet? The unhealable boils? I don't know. What about these rashes? What about Ebola? In any case, no, I'm just grasping for straws right now. But anyways, good video. Um, yeah, this Ebola, it's not going away. As a matter of fact, this is kind of old news, but it's still going on. I mean, this talks about the Congolese people that were brought over here in the United States, in Austin, Texas, from the Congo, who were and still are experiencing this Ebola outbreak, as well as other. There was some big city that was hit, shortly after that. And actually, the death toll went up another 1,000 people. It was at 1,500, now it's at 2,500. But they let these people go in our country, in Austin, and then they disappeared into wherever they went in the States. And it was like, I don't know if it was a dozen people or maybe more. Where was it? Is this in this article? Well, they talk about, importing these Congolese refugees through San Antonio, Texas, and distributing through the country, but they don't talk about the numbers. But it doesn't matter. I mean, just say it was six sent off into six different states, spreading Ebola. Now, if you don't catch that, I guess within the first couple of days, this thing has a 90% mortality rate. And I think a lot of people are mistaking the rashes and calling it measles, who report these things in hospitals and in emergency rooms. Just be aware of this, people. I mean, as in Psalms 1, I go there often. In my head, I go there often. That we are not accounted to these kind of things, to these darts, to these. We will be protected. We'll see 10,000 fall our right side and 1,000 at our left, or if it's the reverse, but nothing will come to us as long as we continue to believe and we gather this information, know what's going on. Anyways, another big. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about all that. There are so many things that they're releasing, whoever's releasing, into our country. I don't even know why I have this. El Chapels. Why do I have that? Nothing there that I wanted. All right. I don't care about El Chapel's glamorous wife. Don't know why it was there, but let's see. What else can we talk about here? Toxic. We could talk about Fukushima plant. This is an update for that. Toxic radioactive water level there, still not under control. And scientists call that an extinction level event. ELE. Still calling it that. I saw an article that was just out recently that there was some kind of radioactive something that was in the air and was spreading across Europe last year. Come to find out that they kind of singled it down to some Russian nuclear plant. So I don't know if they're having the same problems that we're having. That 60% of our nuclear plants are either deteriorating, dilapidated, and they need to be shut down. Is what they need, or fixed. And I don't know about you, but nuclear power scares the heebie-jeebies out of me. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm just afraid of. Um, I just don't like to see people suffer. And I've heard many stories, seen many photos and videos of people suffering from radiation poisoning. I don't know what's worse, hunger or that. So, anyways, almost 6 years after Prime Minister Shinzo Abe famously declared the contaminated water problem at the Fukushima number one nuclear plant under control, today it remains anything but. Tokyo Electric Company, TEPCO, continues to face the difficulties in dealing with water contaminated with radioactive substances in its crippled plant. I heard that they're still dumping water into the ocean. And we can talk for hours about that, right? About the effects in the Pacific Ocean. Now, probably is now reaching the Atlantic Ocean because, as World Watching would say, uh, it's all just one big bathtub. It's all connected. We call certain, waterways in one area of the globe and different name, but they are all connected. Got dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico growing and growing next to Louisiana, Texas. You have a volcano there as well in the Gulf of Mexico. You have this algae blooms and other things in Florida, just inundating the whole coast. I mean, from the Gulf of Mexico to the Atlantic. Well, we got something else here too. I'm trying to find out what that is. Something else in Florida. Oh, give me a second. Not the Ebola, not that, not that. Where is it? They got something down here. What is it? Some kind of some kind of other. It looks like an algae bloom, but it's not green in color. Black. I'm telling you, I don't know. What did I do? Delete it somehow? Yeah. Okay. No, I don't know what happened to it, folks. It kind of just disappeared. Yeah, but something else is going on in Florida with that. Sorry that I don't have that. So basically, there's a couple other things I wanted to show you, but if I talked about them, they would go on for a while. Just wanted to show you this article I had in the last position. What crazy people are doing these days. I mean, I hear so many instances of these just foul things going on. This is from Free Thought Project. Yeah, and we won't get into the government officials stealing a man's home for $8.41. I mean, that's called just plain old real estate theft. They give it another name. Disturbing video posted to Facebook this week shows Las Vegas police officers attacking and choking a man for selling a bottled water without a license. There's there's two different photos. Two cops there. I guess this guy, I don't know if he's a security guard or what, but cops choke and kidnap innocent man for selling water on the street. Really? Whatever happened to free enterprise, entrepreneurship, all that stuff? No, no, no. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. You can't collect water. You can't be self sufficient. You can't get off the grid. Remember one lady in Florida tried to do that, told her she couldn't. They started fining her. Yeah, in the land of the free, selling bottled water to willing customers without first paying the state for the privilege to do so. And that's what you do got to do. I did sign up as a small business owner here in my state in Connecticut. And yes, you have to sign up. Not only get a license with the state of Connecticut, and all you have to do is give money, and they'll give you a license to sell, but you have to charge tax, and then you get that money, fill out forms, send them the money, and they're fine. And you got to register in the town that you live in. You got to register your so-called business name, even if it is just your name. You could use your name as your business. Anyway, because he didn't do that, because he didn't follow their laws for us. You know how many laws that the Democrats in California are making? I'm going to come up with a list. I'm going to go to Will Watchman one day, and I'm going to tell him to just, run off some of these really queer, laws that they've freaking come up with. And I probably got a few of them running through my head right now. I can't even think of a one. Man, so we will come up with a list of the things that they're coming out with laws for. And I guarantee you, they don't have to follow them. They're not going to be following them. It's made for us, not for them. So anyway, Ken and Will get beaten, choked, and kidnapped by agents of the state. Disturbing video posted online this week. This shows you how far police will go to make sure you pay them before selling the water. Man, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, let the person sell the whatever, but, if you're going to have a cop there to tell them something, give them a freaking card. Their state's, website, and where to go file for paying them the taxes that's due them, I guess, for doing business, for, your privilege to do business in their state. Yeah, that's what they call it here in the state of Connecticut. So the privilege to, have a business in their state. Believe me, it's not a privilege. Most of the businesses are leaving. It's just the rich people are moving in. They ain't going to have anybody to freaking go to. They're going to have to stock their own stores and have their own children run them because everyone else is, they're leaving. They can't afford to, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to talk about my state of Connecticut either. I want to leave very badly. That and there come, the 10-cent recyclable bag now. It's just one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever heard. All because of this presumption that the bags are, entangling our purposes and our seals and killing our fish in the ocean. Well, tell the freaking cruise ships and all the other ships to stop throwing their garbage overboard. All I can say, here's this story. I wanted to show you this about this 10-year-old girl, okay? Smart girl, taught well. And this is one thing that you can get out of this, okay? This article is that this young lady was taught well, okay? So this girl, 10, asked to send a topless picture of herself to verify her age on a popular kids programming app called Gotcha Life, okay? So this 10-year-old girl was asked to send this photo verifying her age. I don't know how that, on a children's cartoon app, Gotcha Life. Kayla McCary was playing on the dress-up Amni. I don't know how you pronounce that word. I've never seen it before. ANIME game. When she received a private message requesting a photo of her bare chest. The message told Kayla the group is a safe space for girls under 14, and she would have to send a topless photo to prove she met the guidelines, or else she would be permanently banned. Oh no, don't ban me. But mom and secondary school teacher Nicola McCary, 41, who has strict parental controls, and they may consider them strict. I consider it's a necessity. It should be an instinctual thing to protect your children of these monsters. But anyway, being of strict parental controls on all of Kayla's devices, regularly warns her daughter of the dangers of speaking to strangers online. And instead of replying to the sickening message, savvy schoolgirl Kayla immediately showed it to her mum. The widowed mum of one of Presswork, South Ayrshire, Scotland, says this incident highlights how it is for predators to slip, how easy it is for them to slip through the net. Yeah. And while they're banning, other, informative sites and teachings and other things, they let stuff like this, kids, you know, games, cartoons, whatever, go on. And I've heard of many instances where right in the middle of these things, there would be this clip of this, child molester or whomever, predator, with their clips to try and, influence the young person's mind. But in any case, so those things happen. I'm just glad that she was informed enough to, show her mother and not do that. I mean, here's the picture of the 10-year-old girl. You remember how little they look now? 10 years? I remember because I used to have a softball team of 10-year-old girls. Traveling softball team. They looked a little bit older than that. But in any case, it's just this constant battle for our children and their innocence, and that's what they're trying to take. Okay, and this, for now, I'm just going to put it out there because I also put this in Facebook last night too, I believe, late. Okay, this is Jack Hibbs of Real Life Ministries. It's called this episode 003 and titles it "The Sex Education Crisis in California." 44 minutes, and about halfway, 3/4 into it, Jack gets pretty upset because some of these things he didn't realize was going on, and I kind of knew him, but I didn't know where to get the material to show people that this is actually what was part of their school's curriculum. Under the Democratic guise of passing a bill that said health and wellness, under that, fake title is these books that are teaching 10 and up, how to do certain things, how to put condoms on, how to, they'll even show you in this video, 2 pages, 2 pictures in there, of very explicit things going on. And yes, I wouldn't want my 10-year-old daughter to learn anything about these things, or my son. No, that comes in time, and it's up to the parent to bring it, not the schools. But according to this bill that passed, these schools in California, wherever that may be in California, in what districts, maybe the whole thing, I don't know, they are required to hold this course to at least middle school kids and then high school kids. She talks about a book in the beginning. Let's see. Yeah. I thought it was in the beginning. Yeah, it's this book right here. Come on, play it.
Scarlet Teen, and you go to Scarlet Teen, and on the homepage, you're going to see this book. This book is filled with sex acts.
Sexual ideas and sex practices.
Exactly.
For kids.
Right, for high school kids.
Sanctioned by the state of California, directed at your child. Mm-hmm. Now, am I going too extreme here?
Now, I remember this book at one time being brought to a student or teachers' counts meeting and so on and so forth. And there was a parent there who was adamantly against this book and why his child was being taught this book. He actually got thrown out of that meeting, I believe, was even arrested for going over his 2 minutes or something like that. This happened a couple of years, probably at least a year ago, maybe 2 years tops. These things have been around. They are teaching our children to do things that even some teenagers should only be, barely thinking about. Barely. When you go through that awkward timing, when one day you hate girls and then the next day, like Jack says, you want one of them. Yeah, that's what boys go through. I can't say anything for the girls, but I'm sure that they go through something like that too. But there are other material in here that are very explicit, and they even have a program for 10 and under down to kindergarten level. Now, what are you going to teach a kindergarten about sex? They've got programs out there already that are in there that they don't tell the parents about, and I don't think it may be at the teacher's discretion what they think this health and resource course should actually consist of. I've actually heard that some of these 4 and 5-year-olds are being taught this. Well, they're being taught this transgenderism in after school library specials. These are the things that are going on, man. I strongly urge you to go to this link and listen to this. I'm going to listen to it again because I just don't want to get that fired up right now because I can't do anything about it. I don't want to yell at you all, but you need to go, find this stuff out. Some of these pictures that, these children are taught. I mean, 10-year-old girls are taught. I'm not even going to mention. I think you should listen to the video. I'm not going to tell it very well. They're just, taught how to use and put on a condom. 10 years old. Man, I was in a very bad spot when I was 10 years old. I didn't even know how to talk to a girl, or even express that I wanted to hold her hand or something like that. You can't believe what these children are being taught. And this I learned on my own, and that's natural. That's life. Parents are responsible for this. I can't talk about this anymore. Parents, it's your fault. It's your fault that your children are like, it is. You are the example. They learn from you and from whomever hangs around you, that you associate with. This is what these children soak up. So however they turn out, it's your fault. Yeah, and my fault. I'm paying for it. I'm trying to correct it, but I'm paying for it. It's not as bad as some of these things that are coming up now. No way. In any case, people, protect your children. You can only protect your children by getting involved with your children and what's going on in school. What are they being taught? Don't just ask them, do you have homework? Yeah, well, go do it. Ask them what they're being taught. I guess you'll understand some of the key words. I don't know. New territory for me as a grandfather. I don't have to worry about this, but I don't want other parents to, have it slip past them and be regretful and, going through a lot of pain later on because they just let it slip by. Anyway, protect your children. Protect your family. Okay, folks. God bless you all. It's Monday. I will be back Wednesday, unless something tragic happens or I just need to really talk about something. So with that, God bless and peace out.